Hello everybody, today is going to be a Chibi subscriber special along with a Chibi topic. Today I want to mix it up a little bit, and I don't want to have an entire topic just to celebrate the milestone we hit today, 2,500. Thank you so much. I love all of you. And so I want to talk about an interesting topic that has been in my mind for quite a while now, and I really want to talk about it. Now, if anyone is new to anime or the otaku culture in general for the past year and a half or 2 years, you probably understand kind of what the meaning of overhyped anime is, or hyped anime. Everybody's looking forward to a certain individual anime. For instance, let's take in reference from this year. Everybody was looking forward to Akuma no Riddle or Sword Art Online, Psychopath Season 2, Space Dandy Season 2, stuff like that. Or Log Horizon Season 2. Now, as we all know, these are type of anime that we call hyped up anime, because everybody's looking forward to it, everybody wants to see it, everybody wants to watch it. But here's the question. Can overhyped anime affect other anime? For instance, let's go back a long time ago in the past. For instance, let's look at, for instance, Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon. Now, as we all can see, Dragon Ball Z was one of the grandfathers of the shonen genre. Anyone that watches shonen or has watched fighting shonen anime most likely knows of Dragon Ball Z. Almost everybody has heard that name uttered at least once as they have watched anime. And as we all know, Dragon Ball Z, usually when we see a fighting shonen anime like Naruto, One Piece, or Bleach, usually people look back at a little bit of Dragon Ball Z and do some form of comparison sometimes, depending on if they really are well known with Dragon Ball Z's universe. And so, technically, the overhypeness of Dragon Ball Z, everybody's knowledge of Dragon Ball Z, is always compared to other anime in the shonen genre. Let's take, for instance, Sailor Moon, okay? Sailor Moon was one of the happy-go-lucky, I guess, magical girl anime. I haven't watched Sailor Moon myself, but I heard a lot about it. I mean, absolutely a freaking fathom ton of a massive amount of information of Sailor Moon. Everybody loved it. And all the girls' side loved Sailor Moon, and all the boys' side loved Dragon Ball Z. And usually when you thought of a magical girl series in the past, you would either think of Cardcaptor Sakura or you think of Sailor Moon. Until Madoka Magica came out in 2011, everybody thought magical girl anime would be happy-go-lucky. Usually, not much darkness going on, but usually it was cheery, happy, and meant for people that were younger ages or at the same time, more on the women's side of anime watchers. But, here's the thing. As we can see, Madoka Magica, since it was hyped, it changed the course of a lot of different anime. Let me explain, for instance. Majority of magical girl anime nowadays has to have some form of dark elements. Usually if people have watched Madoka Magica, they want to compare it with other magical girl anime, and they say, oh, it's not dark enough. It's not on the same level as Madoka Magica, because it doesn't have that, unique storytelling that Madoka Magica did, and just twisted and destroyed and deconstructed the entire magical girl genre. So, for instance, this is one aspect of it. Madoka Magica, since it was hyped up, it kind of changed everybody's outlooks and aspects on magical girl anime in general. Like, for instance, let's look at Sword Art Online that came out the same year as Madoka Magica. Very hyped up. Everybody has probably heard about that. That is one of the biggest fandoms I've seen in a long time. Sword Art Online is definitely a big fandom group, and definitely next season's going to be having Season 2 come out. It's really hyped up. Probably one of the most hyped up series for this year of anime. And what is so interesting is when people think of virtual reality games nowadays, they usually want to compare it with Sword Online. They won't go back to the older roots of Hack Sign. They always want to go to Sword Online. Even ASO World, it falls underneath the bracket of SAO because SAO is more hyped up, even though ASO World, in my opinion, was on equal grounds with Sword Online. So right there, I'm just telling you right there. Anime in general, for instance, hyped up anime really affect the market of how otakus think. For instance, when they see a hyped up anime, they want to jump on board and probably watch it. And if they think it's really fucking badass or good, they want to compare it with other shows that are just similar like that. And so everybody's expectation gets very high in these certain genres. Like, let's take Log Horizon. After I watched Sword Online, I watched Hack Sign beforehand, but I watched Sword Online, and before Log Horizon ever came around, I was judging it because it's definitely just going to be an SAO clone. It's going to try to rip it off, the elements of people being stuck in a fantasy world, can't get out. And that was my opinion. Before Log Horizon ever came out, before I ever saw any footage, before I ever saw anything, I was already downgrading it, freaking dropping its ratings, and I didn't care for it before the first episode even came out. And this goes to show you, overhyped anime really affect anime in general for many years to come. Dragon Ball Z still affects anime to this day, shonen anime, and so does Sailor Moon. In a sense, it really does, and Sailor Moon will be having its reboot next season, which I'm looking forward to watching. Overall, like for instance, Attack on Titan. majority of people nowadays, if they look at like giant monsters eating people, they'll most likely turn to Attack on Titan now to be able to just judge it. They'll judge like beings eating people to Attack on Titan, because Attack on Titan was so hyped up that everybody has heard about, or at least watched it. Even newcomers to anime in the past year and a half most likely has seen it. And so they usually compare anime like that to Attack on Titan. Now, there's other series that's like really hyped up this year, like Tokyo Ghoul, or we have Assassination's Classroom. Those series most likely eventually will be compared with other anime, and everybody will make their own comparisons with anime that are similar. So, the main subject here, does anime, like hyped up anime, really determine what otaku's like? For instance, do they make us kind of blind to anime that's underneath all this hyped up anime? For instance, let's say, like next season, Sword Art Online Season 2 is coming out, okay? Next season looks amazing, but Sword Art Online Season 2 is coming out, Space Dandy Season 2, and Sailor Moon. Are these three anime that are really big, hyped up, and everybody wants to see at least one of these three, are they going to look back at the other anime at season and think they're nothing in comparison to these other anime because they're just so hyped up everybody wants to watch it? I'm not saying they don't deserve their hype. I'm just saying they're so hyped up everybody will be blinded to the other epic anime of that season. So this is the main thing that anime with big budgets, big animation, great fandoms, all that really play a part in the otaku culture. They hold a major ground of really, I guess, constructing the actual bridge and path of how anime is made in general. Because now a lot of anime are forced to stand up to the standards of like Madoka Magica if they want to make a magical girl. A lot of people have to make standards to Attack on Titan now if they want to make a good like freaking humanity backed up against the wall. Vice versa. We have the entire section, for instance, with SAO. If they're making a virtual reality game, they have to have something that kind of stands up to that. So, as anime goes on through the years, they're constantly being judged by these other individual anime, like the grandfathers or major keystones in the entire genre, and they have to be bettering themselves. In a sense, could this be good for otaku culture, or bad? Is it because that these new series are making our entire otaku industry evolve, or is it actually hurting us in the process for new innovative ideas? A major question here. I mean, anyone can have their own opinions on this entire subject, but what do you think about it? Do you feel like major hyped up series really affect your viewpoint on other anime that are on lower tier and that many people really know about? Let me know in the comments below. I love you all so much, and once again, thank you for 2,500 subscribers. I love all of you so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.